So what you do is you just take a chemical and you coat a goopy coating that air dries onto the screen and let it dry, and in the meantime you prepare artwork and you print it out in black printer ink but onto a clear sheet of paper. So after you've put this emulsion on the screen, you lay your artwork on the transparent film onto the screen and expose it for light for the first time. And the coating directly underneath the parts of your design are going to stay soft. You've hardened the parts of the screen enough to your liking that you turn off the light and spray it with water. Your design will dissolve and wash out of the screen and create a stencil. The only parts now of the screen that the ink can pass through is where your design was, where you wash it out. So then it becomes really easy. That's all the hard work and the preparation of it. My name is Philip Sachs. My business is Sheepshead Design. Screen printing is basically a printmaking technique that's kind of like a stencil. So if you've ever had made a stencil in your life, this is a similar kind of thing. From there, you can lay down a piece of paper or a t-shirt or a bag or whatever you really like to print on, and then you can just take some acrylic paint and a squeegee blade, pulling the ink across the screen. It will only get deposited and make the prints where your stencil has been made with your artwork. As a method of printing by itself is kind of taking a step back in terms of like technical and digital ways of manipulating color and images and things. But then the thing that's interesting about it is that I'm actually mixing pigments and paint and printing something by hand. There's a handmade technique to it. But even still with that, screen printing versus say painting, it's a stencil and everything is kind of just, it's almost like the work is being done for you in a way. So to take it a step beyond that, I like to work on untraditional materials that are not so predictable all the time. It offers a challenge to the printing. I'll get big boards of old barnwood siding and cut it into small pieces, and that basically gives me a canvas or a palette to work on. This is the Empire State Building. That's 3 colors, and I do that in a couple of different colors. And usually I have to print onto the brown side, but you can see like here, if there's a little knot there, like kind of like a sun or something like that, I'll try to follow the grain of the wood that I can for each piece. These are like flowers that I picked and laid on the screen. I have more patterns here. So I got all this stuff. This is all my stuff. If you come outside, I'll sand this piece of wood. You almost need to think of screen printing as kind of like architecture in a way. You need to make the plans and then you need to go and you need to go build it. And if you didn't plan it right, you're going to have a lopsided building. And it could be the same way with screen printing, and you might not realize that you had an error until halfway through that was kind of irrevocable, and you don't want to run into that. You know what? This is too big. Well, that's garbage now. No. This needs to be 10 by 10. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Yeah, perfect. A lot of the products that I make and the time spent making them is alone at home. And I tend to wholesale and sell online, but it's hard to actually interact with my customers directly when I'm kind of removed from them. So it's been nice when I was selling out on the street, and then when I transitioned to a booth at the Brooklyn Flea to be able to kind of interact with my customers and hear their feedback and see what they liked and what they didn't like, and it definitely helped me develop my style and things that I enjoyed making, almost in collaboration with the people who are my customers. I've had my prints purchased by film and TV set decorators. I've had my artwork appear, all over the place. It's been in magazines and newspapers and television shows and movies. And it's interesting working in New York City. I've been very fortunate. When you work in a big city like this, it presents you a lot of opportunities. And I've even, through the years of selling these prints, not only running into repeat customers who live across the world and maybe come back to New York another time and happen to find me at a market or something like that, or people who have bought online from me who then come to the market and see me there, but I've even gone to parties or met a friend of a friend, or maybe even dated someone who I happen to walk into their apartment and there's something of mine on their wall. So it's nice to know in a way that I've made something that's kind of lasting and is, there's something that I'm leaving behind that brings people enjoyment, happiness. I hear stories all the time of, oh, so-and-so has this piece or whatever, and I love that. I didn't know that that was you. So that's kind of a cool thing.